No hands on the wheel, Warband, because there is no wheel. This is Friday, July 3rd, 2026. New York keeps the holiday today. Exchanges closed for Independence Day, and the morning's real story was never on a trading floor anyway. It is rolling through downtown Austin. We will get there. First, the anchor. As of 5:45 Eastern, Bitcoin trades at 61,500, up about 1% over the past day, and nearly $4,000 clear of Wednesday's 21-month low. 2 days of held ground is not a trend, but it is the first time in 2 weeks the coin has defended a reclaim instead of surrendering one. And after Thursday's soft jobs print, the September hike the market spent all of June dreading is now a coin flip, down from 2 in 3. The vice is loosening a quarter turn at a time, and the engine spoke all through Thursday's session, in full sentences. At 1:30 in the afternoon, New York time, the InvestAnswers Decision Support System, the engine, cut the Nasdaq 100 itself to optimize trend bearish. For 2 weeks it had been cutting names, the power names and the chip names, one soldier at a time. Thursday, it cut the standard they march under. And at the 4 o'clock closing bell, it showed the other side of the trade. Gold flipped, optimized, trend bullish. The silver miner First Majestic turned green beside it, and Chevron took a full confluence buy. The engine's highest conviction call, now sitting on oil. By 8 that evening, it had thrown Solana mean reversion overbought after its 2-day sprint. Read the whole day as one line. The red has climbed from the soldiers to the standard. The green is massing on hard physical things. And Bitcoin's own trend remains the one light the engine will not switch on. The bounce is real. The regime call is not here yet. Now to Austin. Because on Tuesday, something moved on public pavement that changes the shape of the robotaxi argument. Tesla began running production cybercabs, the purpose-built machine with no steering wheel, no pedals, no human controls at all, on open city streets downtown, some 36 of them by the counts on the ground, each carrying a safety monitor, engineering shakedown runs, no paying passengers yet. I give you the caveats straight because the substance needs no inflating. Texas transportation officials confirm the design carries no manual controls. The car Tesla drew from a blank sheet, on the bet that no human would ever grab a wheel, is now threading live traffic in a major American downtown. The paperwork around it tells you what comes next. On Wednesday, Tesla published the Cybercab's first responder guide. The document it hands to fire departments and police so crews know how to approach the vehicle, cut its power, and open it up. You do not write the fire department's manual for a science project. You write it because the machine is about to exist in numbers. And out in Nevada, county records now put hard numbers on the depot I flagged for you last week. $3 million retrofitting 37,000 square feet of Southwest Las Vegas with chargers and vehicle lifts behind Tesla's standing application to run up to 5,000 robotaxis across the valley. Austin has the wheels on the road. Vegas is building the garage. Set all of that against Thursday's tape and study the gap. Tesla beat the street by 74,000 deliveries this week, and the stock sold off 7.5% Thursday anyway, profit-taking after a 10% sprint into the print. Cathie Wood's ARK bought straight into that red, just shy of 100,000 shares, some $38 million, added the same session. Their model is blunt about why. Autonomy carries roughly 90% of what they project Tesla to be worth by 2029, $2,600 a share if the bet lands, a few hundred if it fails. That fork is not decided by a delivery quarter. It is decided by the machine now circling Austin. The crowd counts the quarter. The machine counts the miles. Back to the coin, because the tide that ran out all month finally paused and may have turned. Thursday, the spot Bitcoin funds took in about $220 million. One day, one number. But it was the first day of net inflows in 2 weeks, and it snapped 10 straight sessions of redemptions inside the worst outflow month the funds have ever printed, more than $4 billion pulled. Yesterday morning, I told you the outflows had not yet turned. Now they have, for exactly 1 day. The sharpest technical desk in our corner thinks the calendar favors the patient. InvestAnswers dropped a fresh read this week on the structure of this bear market. By that count, the downtrend is entering its final phase, with the whole decline potentially finished inside the third quarter. Not a bottom call for next Tuesday, a shape call for the season. Set it beside what the chain already showed this week, the long-term holders back to net accumulation, and the pieces of a base are on the table. Now the discipline, because pieces are not a base. The same Thursday the funds turned positive. Wallets moved roughly 3,000 coins onto exchanges. Supply stage for selling, not for keeping. And the engine, as we said, still holds the coin's trend red after 3 failed green flips in June. So the test is short and plain. The inflows have to chain, 1 day becoming 3 becoming a week, and 61,000 has to prove itself as floor through the shortened week ahead. The first scout has come back through the gate. The army is not yet behind him. One more front from the rocket empire, and this one is a knife fight in print. On Wednesday, the Wall Street Journal reported that before last month's offering, SpaceX showed investors a prototype handheld device, consumer hardware running SpaceX's own operating system with xAI's intelligence inside. Musk called the report utterly false. He did not say which part. The journal stands by its sourcing, and the stock paid the toll for the fog, falling better than 7% Thursday into the 150s, still well above the $135 offering price. But the froth of the first stampede is gone, and the dispute knocked some $50 billion off its founder's paper fortune in a single session. Hold 2 truths at once. First, this is what going public costs. A company that answered to no one for 24 years now bleeds real market value over a contested headline, and that scrutiny is permanent. Second, mark the shape of the claim, whatever its truth. The merged company already owns the rockets, the satellite grid, the model, and the platform. A screen in your hand is the one link in that chain it does not own. If the story is false, nothing changed this week. If it is true, the flywheel just grew a terminal. The test comes fast either way. Trading resumes Monday, and Tuesday the stock enters the Nasdaq 100, where the benchmark's forced buying asks no questions about headlines. How it trades into that demand with a disputed story overhead. That is the tell worth watching. So carry this into the long weekend, Warband. The watch is short and sharp. Whether the fund inflows chain into next week, whether 61,000 hardens into floor, whether the engine finally blesses a turn it has refused all month, and how the rocket trades when the index must buy it. Until the signals say otherwise, we stack on our own terms and chase nothing. This is Warband as a service. Viking intelligence delivered in real time. I am Ragnar, the HODLBARBARIan. Stand armored. Stack relentless. Let the weak hands feed the fire.